Hello, good afternoon, and good morning. I'm LaKendra Tooks, and it's time for Tooks Takes. Now, as always, y'all, we got a big show today. I mean, we always have a big show, but let me tell y'all, I am hanging up my political commentator hat. You're welcome. It is back to business around here, okay? Baddie business. Housewives, pretty girl antics, dating, shopping, stupid stuff, okay? Y'all know me. I'm very unserious. And I love being in my little I'm back in my bubble. I stepped out of my bubble and baby, I'm the tooks in a plastic bubble once again. And baby, I'm going to stay here. And let me dive right in because we got a lot to catch up on, okay? We got housewife stuff to catch up on. We got some personal things going on in my world that we need to discuss. I mean, I had a fabulous weekend. I went on a really good first date. I had a fun little girls' night out. And y'all, I ate at Taco Bell twice. Not to mention, I got a new crush. I mean, there is a lot going on in the world of Tooks. And we'll get there, baby. Hold your horses, because we'll get there. But first things first, we got to go to the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. You know, I'm going to be like a Mormon. I'm going to knock on your door. If you're not a fan of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, I'm going to knock on your door. I'm going to be a Mormon missionary, and it is my mission to make you a fan of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And I'm not even going to waste time because the ladies on Salt Lake City, they don't waste time. Episode 2 of this new season, and bam, we already get the GDS moment. The GDS moment is already here, okay? I am excited. Do you know how many other franchises we'd have to wait till the season finale before we finally get the Gout de-esser comment? But not in Salt Lake City. We're talking about Gouts and sucking D's right here. We already had a sucking D gate on episode 1. Now it's Gout D. It's Gout D on episode 2. Baby, let's get into it. And this is what I love about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. You know, it just really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're a Mormon or the type of lady that likes to hang out with more men. Either way, our country's so divided right now. But if there is anybody that can bring us together as a nation, it's the ladies of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I love them. I trust them. Now, they are still out here in the middle of the woods, y'all. The episode begins. Very Blair Witch Project, okay? It's very, like, scary. I was like, what am I watching? I feel like one of the producers or the PAs, somebody on the staff at the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City must want to be Wes Craven or Stephen King. They were like, listen, let me do a little horror. Let me show y'all how I do my little horror moments. So it was really scary at first. But then our girl Meredith, Meredith Marks is a lawyer. And she went to law school. And listen, there's no way the network's going to let us all get killed. It'd be too much liability on the network. And honestly, thank God. Because do y'all remember several seasons ago on the Real Housewives of New York where they were in Colombia and they were all on the boat and the boat was about to capsize? And I really, really thought, dear God, are all my favorite housewives about to leave this earth right here, right now on a boat? You want to talk about Titanic? I was scared. I had prayers up. I love these ladies. Let me tell you something. I love these ladies. I pray for them. I'm like, Lord, cover them in the blood of Jesus. Keep them safe. Keep them safe out here in the middle of these woods in an RV eating hot dogs with no mustard. Take care of my girls because I love them. I mean, they got my girl, Mother Mary Cosby, out here in these woods. And now listen, I don't know if y'all are familiar with how the horror movies usually go, but they always kill the black person first. And let me tell you something. I was worried about Mary, but let me tell you, my girl Mary is covered in the blood of Jesus. She's also covered in Chanel. Okay, so there is no hurt, harm, or danger that shall come upon her. Because let me tell you something about Mary Cosby. She is blessed. Actually, can we talk about my outfit real quick? Because I look like I belong in the woods. I mean, look, I'm giving sporty spice. I mean, I feel like I do look like Sporty Spice right now. Usually my vibe is very posh with a touch of baby, with a touch of scary. Actually, and a touch of ginger. I think I'm all the Spice Girls in one. I am all of them in one. I identify. It really just depended on what day of the week it was. It's like today I'm Sporty Spice. Tomorrow I'll probably be in all leopard print, back to Scary Spice. Then on the Ken's day I'll probably have on like a chic little black dress, very posh. I love a little girl baby doll moment. Oh my God, my hair is Baby Spice today. I'm giving Baby Spice hair. Always posh spice on the mug, and then the outfit is Scary Spice. So if I pop up and do a cartwheel, just let me do me, let me be me. Okay, if I want to do a cartwheel, let me do a little quick cartwheel. Anyway. Now, while the girls are out there in the woods, Heather brings up. Now, if you're an old school Housewife fan, we have all seen the episodes where one of the wives, their child is graduating from high school, college, whatever, leaving the nest. And we see the wives crying. We've seen Kyle Richards cry. God, Kyle Richards, we've seen her cry over all her children. And Heather's like, listen, I am not crying. My youngest is about to leave the nest, and I am happy. Heather's like, get the F out. You ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell up out of here. Heather said, closing time on her kid. And honestly, I get it. And I did not know this. I mean, Heather, we've heard the plight of her divorce before, but I didn't realize that she really has been a single mom, like hardcore, that her baby daddy, ex-husband, hasn't even had overnights with the kids. Dang. Now, if I was divorced, I would put that in my divorce decree that you got to let me have every other weekend, something like that. I need to have my time to myself. So Heather is like, please, child, go to college, join the Peace Corps, join the military, be a missionary. I don't care. Just get out so that I can live my life and be happy. And honestly, Heather, I'm not mad at you about that. I think that is very honest and that is very, very real. And I don't want you to feel guilt about that. To all my mamas in the Ken's Day crew, real quick, all the mamas, especially the single moms. I mean, I've talked about this before. I think a single mom, being a mom is the most important job in the world, but as a single mom, like you are in the trenches with these kids the whole time. You barely get a break. So honestly, if your youngest is leaving the nest and you are looking forward to the break, I'm not mad at y'all. And I know that Heather feels a lot of guilt. You know, sometimes, and y'all know I'm a Christian, sometimes when you grow up in church, you grow up in a religious environment, you can feel a lot of that guilt, especially if things don't always go exactly the way you thought they should go. But don't feel guilt about that. Like, I mean, honestly, that's what I'm learning even for myself. It's like, I just try to trust God. Even if something doesn't go exactly the way I thought it would go, I say, you know what, God, I'm just going to trust you that no matter what, it's always going to work out in my favor. So for Heather, for any of the single moms out there, I don't want any woman out there, any mother especially, to be feeling any guilt about your children, about the way you raise your children. You do the best you can. That's all you can do. You do the best you can. Think about those of us that are in my particular age group. I mean, our parents were raising us in the 80s and 90s with no Google. I mean, they didn't know what the heck they were doing. They were just winging it, letting us eat all kinds of red number 40 and sugar. I'm surprised I still have teeth. So while Heather is pushing her kids out the nest, Bronwyn is on the opposite end of the spectrum. She is actually terrified of her daughter leaving, so much so that she has moved her daughter and her daughter's boyfriend into the house. Okay, and now let's talk about the difference here, because Heather's a single mom, which is her and her kid. And then Bronwyn's been a single mom too, because we know that she had her daughter Gwen when she was only 19. And we saw last season her daughter's biological father and biological family was not interested in being a part of her life, allegedly, according to Bronwyn. So Bronwyn can relate to being kind of like a black sheep in the Mormon community, not doing things the temple way, and feeling guilt about it. And Bronwyn was trying to connect with Heather just on this like ex-Mormon mom connection. but Heather wasn't having it at all. I don't know exactly what. I don't remember. I can't remember every single thing that happened last season, but I'm still trying to understand like the root cause of the beef with Heather and Bronwyn, because it doesn't exactly make sense to me. And I appreciate it that even though they've had this beef, I do feel like Bronwyn, even last season, Bronwyn was always trying with Heather. Bronwyn was always like, look, let me figure this out. And no matter what Bronwyn would say, Heather would figure out a way to twist it. Even in this situation, we see Heather figuring out a way to twist it and get offended by it. But I do want to talk about Bronwyn and her not wanting to allow her daughter Gwen to leave the nest. And I think what we've got going on here, I think that Bronwyn is not really interested in being at home alone with the Gout D. You know what I mean? Now listen, I'm a lady of a particular age. I attract many a youngin' right now, but I'm never going to have gout. Okay, I'm never going to have gout. I don't even know what gout is. Didn't Benjamin Franklin have gout? I'm never going to have gout. And I'm also never going to be a grumpy, curmudgeon old man. Mr. Todd is a little bit of a curmudgeon. I'm sorry, Mr. Todd. I respect you as an elder. I respect you as a businessman. But I do understand why Bronwyn's like looking at her daughter like, please don't leave me. Please don't make me have to live here with this mean old man alone by myself. Please. She's just going to be sitting in a hot dog costume alone in the house. She's like, please stay. Now, let me also say something. Y'all know I have ADD, so I'm going to go off on a quick little tangent. I was on Jeff Lewis Live last week, and it was my first time on with the icon, Miss Beverly D'Angelo. And I was so excited to meet her, and she's everything I wanted her to be and more. Now, I call her Miss Bev. I call Judge Lauren Lake, I call her Miss Judge. Anytime someone someone that I see as an elder, I like to address them respectfully, and somebody commented and said, oh my goodness, her calling someone Miss every 5 minutes is getting old. And I'm like, first of all, that's such a weird thing to be annoyed by. And it's also, it's weird to be annoyed by it. Then it's weird to feel the need to express it. So again, we're getting to know each other. I'm sharing my life with you. As y'all know at this point, I grew up very Southern, okay? I grew up Southern, and this is how I was raised. All of my mom's friends to this day, I do not go up to my mom's friends and say, I call them Miss Diane. I don't say Miss Jackson. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. I don't say Miss Jackson, Miss Jones, Miss Browns. I say, hey, Miss Sharon, hey, Miss Debbie. I've always been that way with my mom's friends growing up. All my friends, parents, I was always like, hey, Mr. Jack. My ex, any guy that I've ever dated, when I meet the parents, I called his mom Miss Priscilla. I called his dad Mr. Jack. Like, that is just how I am. That's how I've grown up. Now, listen, I am a woman of a particular age now. I'm no longer a child. So I don't technically have to do that. Even like with Miss Judge Lauren Lake, she's like, LaKendra, you can call me Lauren. I said, no, I cannot. I'm calling you Miss Judge, okay? Because it's like a thing with me. It's just a respect thing. And it's not to make someone feel older than me. It's a fact that people are older than me, and that makes them my elders. I am some people's elders. Like the little kids that know me, they either call me Auntie Kendra or they call me Miss LaKendra, which I think is adorable and sweet. And honestly, that is just me. That's how I was raised. If that bothers you, I don't care. My new comeback, whenever people feel the need to say something, I just say, thanks for the feedback. Y'all feel free to steal that. That shuts a lot of stuff down, to just say, thanks for the feedback. I even do that to my mom. I say, okay, thanks for the feedback, and move on with my life. Because it's like, look, I am who I am. I'm going to always be who I am. And honestly, y'all, I love who I am. I do. I love myself. I toot my own horn. Beep, beep. Toot, toot. I highly recommend tooting your own horn. I highly recommend just loving everything about yourself and honestly not really caring what anybody else thinks. You know, like if it's constructive criticism, I definitely take it when it's coming from a place of love. And I get so much love. Y'all know I got my auntie army. I get so much love, and I get a lot. I get good advice. So, and also I want to say, sometimes you'll DM me, and if I don't get back to you, please don't think that I'm ignoring you. I sometimes will see the DM and I make a little note, okay, I want to get back to that. But then sometimes I'll go back and then the DM's not there. Instagram, what's up with that? Where's my DMs going? Why my DMs disappearing? I don't know if it's something, y'all know I'm not the most tech savvy. I still need to hire a young person to like help me with all of my stuff, because I'm like, sometimes I don't know what I'm doing. But I get so much love. I got my auntie army. I got my niece navy. I love y'all so much, and I appreciate the love and support so much, more than you know. I really appreciate it. Now, back to the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. So yeah, I don't like the beef between Bronwyn and Heather. I want them to bond as ex-Mormons. And then we've got poor Whitney Ginger Rose. Is the red hair growing on me? No. I miss Whitney as a blondie, but I get it. You want to switch. No one switches up the hair more than me, so I get it. So Whitney Rose, she's got her failed business. Her and Justin, they had the business that failed. I don't know much about this business. I'm like, Whitney, girl, fine. We'll buy you jewelry. We'll buy you crystals, whatever you want, girl. I just want Justin to be okay, because Justin is an older gentleman. He married this young girl. I'm worried. I'm like, Whitney, you better not have wiped out Justin's 401k. Like, Whitney, we don't have time for these games. Justin is a grown man with grown kids. So please be careful with all your little business ventures. And then the conversation comes to Mary. The girls want to know, Mary, how is Robert Jr.? And now this is the part where, we learned last year about Mary's son, Robert, that he's had some struggles with addiction. I think I have spoken a little bit about addiction here and there. It is not something that I personally know very much about, but it definitely is something I'm very interested in. I love the show Intervention. And I'm always curious. I'm always curious about how people, what caused them to become addicted, like what's their kind of addict origin story. And I feel so bad for Robert Jr. because when I see him, y'all, and this is not like, I'm not judging him, but my heart breaks for him because I feel like I just don't see like the passion and the life in his eyes. And I really want him to find something that he's passionate about. And I feel like this can happen sometimes when you grow up with rich parents and you've never had to work. And it does seem like Mary, I don't know how her grandma got all this money. It just seems like Mary has endless amounts of money. She's got endless designer stuff and homes and money. And, we saw like a few seasons ago, her son, he was like buying all these things for his girlfriend/wife. So it doesn't seem like he's ever really had to work. I don't know if maybe he's going to go and do something with the church, but my prayer for Robert Jr. is that he does find something that he's passionate about, that he's interested in, so that gives him something to live for. That's what I worry about with him, because he just looks a little dead behind the eyes, and I'm worried, do you have something that you feel is worthwhile to live for? So I'm really rooting for Robert. And Mary, my heart goes out to you because you're such a sweet mom. And all you moms, especially if you got a child that's dealing with addiction, if no one's told you today, let me remind you, it is not your fault. Every parent does the best they can, and sometimes you do your absolute best and you still end up with a kid that's an addict. That doesn't make that kid a bad kid. It's a disease, So my heart goes out to Mary and her family. Any of you that are dealing with addiction, my heart goes out to you. And my prayers, my heart, not just my heart, my prayers, because I know it's hard. And I pray for Robert Jr. I want him to get it straightened out. Anybody who's going through it, if you want to get yourself straightened out, I really hope that you do it. And you can do it, okay? Let me encourage you. You can do it. And hearing this young man talk about how he's got to change his environment, he's had to get new friends, that is part of what you have to do. You can't do the same old things and expect a different result. So my heart goes out to Robert Jr. My heart goes out to anyone dealing with addiction. Now, before the ladies leave the woods, though, sorry, we're jumping around a little bit, guys. Before the ladies leave the woods, the RV is stuck. I did not know this, y'all. I did not know RVs get stuck and then you got to push it out. My girl Mary said, No, thank you. I will be sitting right here at the back of the bus. Y'all can push me because I'm not pushing an RV, and I feel that. I mean, I'm strong. Y'all know I work out, but still, I'm not pushing RV strong. I'm not doing CrossFit. I'm not rolling tires down the street, you know? So I don't blame Mary for skipping the RV push. Now let's talk about my girl Lisa Barlow, because Lisa Barlow was noticeably absent from episode 1. Well, absent in the physical form, but certainly not absent from the conversation. Her name got mentioned 43 times in episode 1. I mentioned this on my social media. Make sure you're following me at LaKendra Tooks. And of course, that stat, I got that stat from the Reality Report. Actually, one of my favorite kind of Bravo Instagram accounts. I love that they do original content as opposed to just like, reposting people's tweets without giving them credit. So the Reality Report, make sure you follow them, because I actually really respect that they actually are content creators. They create their own content. I love that. But anyway, so Barlow was on the brain the whole camping trip. So I don't know if y'all are aware, we got a new bone collector in the Salt Lake City right now. Her name is Heather Gay. Heather, I guess she lost all that weight. Now she's skin and bones. And now she's also the bone collector, because she reports back to Lisa everything. She's like, listen, Lisa, they mentioned your name 43 times. Bronwyn will not let up about your lawsuits. Meredith did not have your back. Nobody had your back except me. I had your back. I had your back and your front. I had your butt, because I'm so far up your butt right now. I'm like, Heather, okay, yes, you love Lisa the most. Congratulations. But let's talk about this lunch, because I've seen all the chatter online about my sister, okay, the black lady who's sitting there side-eyeing everybody. I love that lady. Has anyone found her? We got to find her. We got to get the Team Tooks investigative team. The Tooks investigative task force. We got to get them on the case. We got to go to Salt Lake City. We got to find that woman, because her side eye was amazing. Now, let me also say this about Lisa Barlow, because I love Lisa Barlow. I know that she's a polarizing character. She is a brat. She is self-absorbed. But again, I think those are amazing qualities in a housewife. So I love Lisa Barlow. I met her last year at Bravo Fan Fest. She was so cool, so nice, so beautiful in person. I love her glam. I know there's been a lot of chatter about her interview look. Okay, she did not look good. Okay, we're all allowed to not look good once. If you watched Tooks Takes last week, I'm sure you noticed that my eyebrows were not exactly looking like sisters. They were looking more like distant cousins. So we do the best we can. Now, I am my own glam squad. I don't know what was going on with Lisa's glam on that day. It looks like maybe she had two people. Maybe she had one person do one half of her face and another person do the other half of her face. I don't know. But Lisa Barlow, you're still the mother of the House of Baby Gorgeous. You're allowed to have an off day. You're allowed to have an off look. We've all been there. Okay, so yeah, Lisa. That's okay. But I guess now we know why Lisa keeps 7 lawyers on retainer. She's got all these lawsuits, and Lisa's like, look, girls, I do big things. I live a very different life than the rest of you. Nobody wants to sue little peasants like you all. They want to sue me because I'm Big Barlow, okay? I run Vita Tequila. Nobody's suing Beauty Lab and Laser. Nobody's suing, well, people are suing Whitney. So I guess maybe your life isn't that different, Lisa, because Lisa Barlow, maybe your life isn't that different. Because Whitney's going through it. Everybody's going through it. Something about once you put a Bravo camera in your face, the lawsuits start. All kinds of stuff gets dug up, brought up from the past. So actually, Lisa, your life really isn't that different. But Lisa is just surprised. Well, it makes her sad. And I hate seeing my girl Lisa cry, especially when she has on that gorgeous trench coat. I hate seeing her get sad, but I understand. She wishes Meredith would stand up for her. And she did not even know she had a beef with Angie K. So I'm sorry, Lisa Barlow, the mother of the House of Baby Gorgeous, we love you, girl. You're going to get through these lawsuits. Lawsuit, Lisa. You're going to get through it. And also, you know what? We're going to get your glam back on track, too. Because you're allowed to have an off day. We're getting that. Whoever did your glam that day, you're fired. We got a new glam squad coming through for Barlow. And then last week, I fired my glam squad last week, which was just me. Having an unsteady hand on my eyebrow. But I think today they look pretty. Hey, we back. The eyebrows are sisters and not distant cousins today. I'm going to skip around a little bit. We finally get a lunch with Bronwyn and Heather. You know, in the Housewives world, everything can be resolved in a lunch. Because I feel like Bronwyn's just like the rest of us. Bronwyn is just like, Heather, what is your problem with me, girl? I'm trying to bond with you. I'm trying to connect with you. I don't know why I say something, and then I don't know how the words come out of my mouth, and then through your brain, it gets filtered into something offensive every single time. So what's up with that? And then Heather's like, how dare you talk about Lisa? How dare you talk about her lawsuits? But as even I had to agree with Whitney. You know, we're on a reality show. Stuff comes out. If you're going through any type of hardships, it's going to come out. So that is when you have to learn how to handle it. You have no choice but to learn how to handle it. Now, on these lawsuits allege that my girl Lisa Barlow is out here borrowing money, and they have text receipts, proof, timeline screenshots that she not only borrowed the money, that she is aware of the debt, and that she desires her husband, John Barlow, to not be made privy to this information. And Whitney wants to know, and I want to know too, does this have anything to do with the mystery man that Angie mentioned at the reunion last year? Angie said that Lisa Barlow has a guy in Park City who helps pay for her lip filler. Now, I love Lisa Barlow. I love her glam, but I don't think her lips ever look incredibly filled. But listen, if there's a man out there in Park City that would like to pay for my lip filler, I will let you, because I love big old juicy lips. I mean, I'm not really in the filler chair like that. What I do is I just put a little pollen. Here's a hack. If you don't have the money for the filler, put a little pollen, a little honey on your lips, stand next to some flowers, let the bees sting you. Bam. You gonna have some juicy lips. Now, let's move on to this party. There's this fabulous party at this Mormon mansion. You know, the Mormons got that good money. I don't know if it's just because the Lord blesses them. I don't know how the Mormons get all their money, but I love it. This home is fabulous. And it is at the home of these people. They're Utah socialites. I don't really know what that means, but I don't really care about them. I only care about my girls. I care about my girl, Brittany Bateman. Brittany! I'm rooting for Brittany and Jared Osmond. I want to see them together. Call me crazy. Brittany, I want to see you become Mrs. Osmond. I want this for you. I think you will fit in so well with the family because you sing. I mean, what better family for you to marry into? You're a singer. I could see you on tour with Donnie and Marie and Brittany. Brittany, you hang in there with Jared. Brittany, I need you to really be a good Mormon girl about this. I think if you can be a good Mormon girl about this, and you know what I mean, no soaking. Don't be soaking with an Osmond. Don't do anything sexual with this Osmond man until he puts a ring on your finger that he intends to keep there, because I think he does love you. And I'm rooting for y'all. I'm rooting for Jared and Brittany. Brittany Bateman Osmond. I'm manifesting it for you, girl. Invite me to the wedding. I will sing at your wedding, because you can't sing at your own wedding. Can you? Oh, I bet Brittany would. Couldn't y'all see Brittany walking down the aisle like, ting, 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 here comes the bride. I have an announcement. Here comes the bride. I'm a bride. I could totally actually see Brittany doing that. But then we get a showdown. Ooh, because when Barlow shows up, we get the Barlow-Bronwyn showdown. And finally, we get the GDS comment. You Gout D-esser? And then Bronwyn's like, well, yeah, I S my husband's D, but why you worried about who's D? I'm S'ing. You need to be worried about these lawsuits. Salt Lake Tribune, Gout. I didn't know Mr. Todd had gout. And now I feel bad. I've been sitting here calling him a grumpy old man. Turns out he got gout. The man got gout. And gout will make you grumpy, I guess. I didn't know gout would migrate to a man's wiener. I didn't know that. But listen, sir, you got a lot. And that's the thing, too, guys. You may have a lot of money, but all the money in the world ain't going to get rid of gout. So if you got gout, my heart goes out to you if you got gout. But if you do have gout, I hope that you find yourself a nice lady or gentleman to be your GDS, gout de-esser. Because listen, if you got gout, there's no doubt that you got gout, and you still deserve a little clout. So you deserve to get your DS'd, even if you got gout. Now, let's move along from Salt Lake City and the Mormons to the Real Housewives of Miami. Yo tengo pregunta. Would you rather look like you're going to a funeral or an ice skating rink? How about a funeral at an ice skating rink? Who needs pallbearers? You can just slide that casket down the ice with the Zamboni, and the ice will preserve the body. Now, where is this coming from? I'm not being random. If you stuck around to the tail end of this week's Real Housewives of Miami, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because we get another fight between Marisol and Adriana. We're going to skip around here because this was, it's a finale. And so sometimes the finale's got a little filler tone to it, which I love filler. This finale felt a little sponsored by Restylane and Juvederm, which is fine. But we finally get to, this Christmas celebration that new girl Stephanie is throwing. And I'm really excited because I'm excited to see Adriana perform. I love a pop star at any age. And also I'm excited, and I think it's really sweet. Great job, Stephanie, that they have this drink, the Kiki Courage. And it is a drink where all the proceeds are going to go to the people of Haiti. And I think that's amazing, Stephanie. I've gone back and forth with Stephanie, but I think in her heart, I think she has a good heart. And I think it's really sweet that she did that for Kiki and for the people of Haiti. I hope they raised a lot of money. And also, I love seeing Adriana in her element, performing, looking fabulous. And honestly, I did not like how the ladies were trying to hate on her. I love my dog. I love my dog. I mean, I love that song. And she can tickle the ivories. I love it. I mean, if you're asking me who would I rather hear sing, I'd rather go to an Adriana concert than to have to hear Julia DeLulia with her opera. I mean, your opera's fine, but honestly, leave opera. You can't be out here just moonlighting as an operettist. You got to really be operating as an opera person at all times if you're doing opera, So, I mean, I'd rather go to the Adriana concert. And I do feel bad for the kind of the friendship deterioration between Adriana and Julia. They're still not speaking to this day. I mean, I honestly cannot wait for the reunion. Apparently the reunion, a lot of bombs are going to get dropped. I'm excited for the reunion. And then also on this episode, y'all, we learned, now remember we had the situation where Adriana called Kiki ratchet. And then she says, no, not ratchet, wretched. Well, then we find out that actually it was Marisol who came up with this whole little wretched thing. Marisol goes to Adriana, is like, look, I'm going to change your life. I'm going to help you out. Just say you meant to say wretched. Adriana went along with it, but then Marisol spills the beans, and this is a charity event. But let me tell you something. We all know the housewives know how to ruin a charity event, but they're going back and forth. And, I will say this, especially after the experience, we've been talking about a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff about race and about racism and about this and about that. And, as much as I love Adriana, I didn't like how she tried to cart out her black friend to be like, no, I'm not racist. Calling someone wretched isn't racist because my black friend says so. Us black people, we're not all the same. I think my way, I'm an individual. I don't claim to speak for all black people, So maybe Adriana's friend didn't think it was inappropriate that Adriana called Kiki ratchet. And I'm sure when Adriana called Kiki ratchet, this is just what I'm feeling in my spirit. I don't think she was thinking about it like, you ratchet black girl. I think that she was just trying to throw out an insult. I don't really think it was racially motivated. Just like I don't think it was malicious intent for Kiki with the birthday cake. But I thought it was really big of her to apologize. And I mean, I was excited for the ladies, and it seemed like everything just went haywire at the end of this event. But guess what? That just gives us even more to look forward to for the reunion. The reunion's coming up. So, this episode, the finale, it was a filler finale. But I feel like the reunion is going to deliver. Oh my gosh. I still haven't learned how to sit without having a roll hang out. Now, if I stand up, y'all see, there's not really much. I'm pretty flat. I'm doing all right. I did eat Taco Bell twice this weekend. Let me talk about my weekend. I had a fabulous weekend. I had a little girls' night out. The event was called Wine and Crime. This fabulous podcaster named Jami Rice, hey Jami, her and I have bonded on Instagram we always have the same kind of takes on housewives, and I'm always like, girl, you're my girl. You know how sometimes you meet people on Instagram or on social media, and then you meet them in real life, and it's like, yes, girl, I knew you were going to be my girl. And that's how it was for me with Jami, not just her, but this was such a fun event. So many fabulous women. I love meeting fabulous women. And her co-host, Care Tucker, their podcast is called Murderish. So my girl Jami Rice, her co-host, Care Tucker, has a fabulous store. Y'all, I was in Santa Clarita. Okay, if you watch The Valley, you know a thing or two about Santa Clarita. It is just outside of LA, but it's very suburban. It's like kind of where if I end up staying here and getting married and having kids, me and my family would likely move to Santa Clarita. But it's beautiful there. I'm a single girlie, so I'm usually out here in these LA Hollywood streets. But I had a blast in Santa Clarita, and honestly, Jami, Care, please invite me to the next event too, because I will be there. I will come to Santa Clarita anytime to hang out with you fabulous ladies. So I had so much fun in Santa Clarita, and then I went and hung out with my friend, and then we ate Taco Bell late at night, which is bad. This is why I have this little extra thing happening right now. But the Taco Bell was so good. I ate it again the next day, y'all. That is some fat people behavior right there, y'all. But I'm telling you, I work out, I do my thing, but that little fat teenager, she's always in there. She's always in there like, girl, get yourself a Nacho Bell Grande. And I did. I had two Nacho Bell Grandes within a 12-hour period. That is not right. But let me tell you something else, y'all. Now, y'all will be so proud of me, especially my aunties. My aunties are going to be so proud of me because y'all know I have been in this dating world. It has been hard. I've been trying to navigate these waters. My boat has been capsizing in these waters. But I say, you know what? I'm setting my boundaries. I put my anchor, bam, I put my anchor down. And I said, I know how I want to be treated. And if a guy's not treating me the way I want to be treated, I'm just going to say, boy, bye. So there's this guy that he and I have been trying to link up for a date for a couple of weeks now. And I'm being strict now. I really want a early afternoon confirmation. Honestly, I want a confirmation by 11 a.m. But I'll give you some wiggle room because I know that we all have jobs and careers and things to do. So I do want a confirmation by early afternoon. If I don't hear from you by early afternoon, baby, I'm making other plans. Do not try to text me. This guy, Friday night, he doesn't text me until 9 o'clock. Hey, are you out right now? Excuse me? Do you want to have a date or do you just want to meet me while I'm out right now? Like, I want to have an actual date. So I did not even respond to that. And the next day I was like, dude, I didn't hear from you. I made other plans. And then he's like, okay, let's try again for tomorrow, which would have been Sunday. And I'm like, okay, what time? 6. 4:30, he reaches out. Hey, are we on for the night? Sure. I didn't hear anything from him, blah, 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 blah. And then he's like, oh, I forgot to hit send. I mean, have I forgotten to hit send before? Yes. But if I'm a guy who's trying to impress a girl, that's my thing. It's like, are you trying to impress me or nah? Like, to me, on the first date, the energy of the man should be, I want to impress this girl. I want to convince her to want to see me again. And it's like, dude, you're not doing that at all. So then this guy, he texts me and he's like, oh, I'm watching the game. The game? Are you kidding me right now? You chose sports over me? Now, come on. Y'all know the Housewives are my sports, but I will DVR it. If I've got a date planned, I'll DVR the game. Do you really think I'm going to tell you the score? Doof. And then he tells me, he's like, oh, I'm over here. I've been drinking. I don't think I should drive. So you're drinking you're ditching me for sports. You're drinking without me. I'm not interested. And then do you know, this man tells me, well, let me Zelle you. If I Zelle you $100 for gas money, can you come out to where I am? And I'm like, what in the cheap escort? What are you talking about? First of all, no. Second of all, if I were to embark in the world of escorting, my nightly rate begins at $1,000. I think my company is worth at least $1,000. So I'm like, dude, no, I don't want your little stupid 100. What do I look like? I don't want your $100, boy. Bye. I was like, listen, I was looking forward to actually going on a date with you. I don't think we're on the same page. Cut the cameras. That's all I had to say. And then here he comes with them. I ignored him because there's so much power in just saying nothing. But I had already started doing my makeup and I was mad. So I said, you know what? I'm going to take myself on a date. So you guys, I had a really incredible first date with myself. And I had so much fun with myself. I went to one of my favorite places, Bakari. Hey, Bakari. Bakari needs to sponsor us. I'm always talking about Bakari. But anyway, I went to Bakari. I sat at the bar. I looked adorable. I had on my vintage Levi's. I looked so cute. I have to post pictures. I have to post some more cute. I looked so cute over the weekend. I have to post some more cute pictures. But anyway, so I'm there at the bar. And then this guy, a cute guy with nice broad shoulders. Y'all know I like a man to have a nice torso. He had broad shoulders. He's like, is this seat taken? I'm like, take the seat. Take me. Take me. No, y'all. I was cool. I was like, oh, no, please sit. And so then, now here's my solo date tip. When you're there, don't be on the phone. Now, I took a couple of little cute pictures, but then I put my phone face down. I think that makes you look more like approachable. So I had my phone face down and he was chit-chatting with the other bartenders. And then I just found a little opportunity to slide in and I did. And then we started chatting. And then he's like, what's your Instagram? So we're keeping in touch. I'm not getting excited yet. We will see what happens. But yeah, girls, gays, I'm telling you, set your boundaries. Set your boundaries with these men. And it's not even about them. It's about you. It's about you letting yourself and the universe and God know this is what I want and this is what I will and won't accept. You have to decide what your standards are and don't waver from it. Don't be afraid to waver from it. Don't be afraid to say no. Because if the guy can't do what you want him to do, guess what? He's not your guy anyway. Now, before we get out of here, y'all know I like to give the Tooks takeaway. I do want to offer you this quote from the great James Baldwin. He says, we can disagree and still love each other unless your disagreement is rooted in my oppression and denial of my humanity and right to exist. He goes on to say, I love America more than any other country in the world. And exactly for this reason, I insist on the right to criticize her perpetually. I fully agree with that because I love America. I love America. I love this country. I don't want to live anywhere else except maybe Paris or London. But I love America. I love America. Even if I lived someplace else, I there's no place like home, And I agree with James that this country, we know what this country is capable of. And I do think it is important to criticize this country when we make mistakes and to learn and to grow and to respect each other. But to also just remember that we all have a different perspective based on our experience. I have the experience of a Black girl. That's all I know. Now, I can understand where other people are coming from, but of course, I'm going to have, as a black girl who's on the path to wealth, of course, I'm going to have a different perspective of, say, for instance, like, a rich white person or a person who's a different age group than me. So we're all going to have different perspectives. So I think it's just important to remember that, y'all. It's important. You know what else is important? Making sure you write a review about Tooks Takes. Make sure you're subscribed. Tell a friend. Follow us on social media at LaKendra Tooks, at Tooks Takes. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I love y'all so much. Y'all give me so much love. And baby, I feel it. I hope you can feel the love, because all the love you give to me, I give it right back to you. And as always, I hope and pray that my light helps you find your light and you shine so bright. And I will see y'all next time. Bye.